Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Miscellany. I'm putting on hold the next Slime Fun episode to deal with one or more issues that have to do with Skyblock, and particularly advanced Skyblock. Now, beacons were introduced in Minecraft back in 2012 in the Pretty Scary update. They are crafted with a Nether Star, 3 blocks of obsidian, and 5 pieces of glass. Beacons are useful because they provide buffs to certain powers to players within a radius of the beacon. They are most useful when created with a full pyramid of iron, gold, diamond, or emerald blocks, and when built to offer all possible buffs. This is useful in regular Minecraft, but also on Skyblock, as the effect covers a good part of your island. Back in my old Skyblock days, I found it helpful for jumping over fences and for filling back up on your hearts. The problem with making a beacon is that it requires a Nether Star, and to get a Nether Star means that you have to deal with the Wither. Also introduced with the Pretty Scary update, the Wither is a boss mob that you have to build, and when you have fought and killed it, you get a Nether Star as a reward. As destructive as the Wither tends to be, it is a risky thing to deal with on a small island over the void in Skyblock. You do not need what blocks you have destroyed, and you do not need to be knocked off the edge by a shot from the Wither. On that old Skyblock server, it offered a full, normal Nether. There, I was introduced to a no-risk method of killing a Wither and getting the Nether Star. This involved getting close to the bedrock ceiling in the Nether, one block that the Wither cannot destroy as bedrock, and using a piston to push it up into that ceiling. Although effective, it required finding just the right spot in the ceiling of the Nether in which to set this up, and also required putting blocks around the Wither so that it did not get pushed away when the piston was activated. On a later update to Skyblock, it became possible to build the Wither in a horizontal position, which avoided the need for the piston. Also, this simplified finding a location for the Wither kill room. Anything with 3 blocks of flat bedrock ceiling in a row would work, and you just had to set up the blocks to build the Wither only 2 below that bedrock. Making the kill station. Before depending on this to work, confirm with the admins on your server that mob griefing has been disabled. If it is not, do not attempt this method, but instead build something like what I showed earlier with a ceiling of bedrock. If mob griefing has been disabled, proceed. In the Nether, simply place a platform above where you plan to spawn the Wither. I like having space around it, so I suggest a 5x5 space. On the ground, I like to lay a platform of 4 orange wool blocks for where the soul sand should go, and 3 blue wool blocks to indicate where the Wither skull should be attached to the soul sand. Note that the single block of soul sand at the tip corresponds to where the Wither will be standing when it spawns, so an extra row on the other side of it helps ensure it will stay in place. After placing the skulls, back off, as there will be an explosion after the Wither powers up. Notice that the Wither does not move away from that spot even though it can look up at me. Neither does it shoot any of its explosive skulls toward me. At this point, I can whack away at it with a sword until it is dead, and then gather my reward of a Nether Star. In the overworld, however, this build will not necessarily work. Look at these 3 examples. The one on the right is the same as the Nether one, the middle has 2 layers for a ceiling, and the left one has 3 layers. In my testing, I found with 1 or 2 layers of ceiling blocks, it was still sometimes able to fly up and out and attack me. 3 layers roof was most consistently safe to use. In repeated testing, the wither did not escape, and it did not attack me with any of the skulls while whacking at it with a sword. Notice that if you do nothing at this point, the wither has its head stuck in the ceiling, and though it is firing its heads, it cannot see you, and those heads cannot hit you. Furthermore, since its head is in the ceiling, it will start to suffocate, just as would happen to you if you got your player's head pushed up into a ceiling. The Beacon Tower. Once you have your Nether Star, craft the beacon as I showed earlier. To get the buffs to help your island, you get your best results with 4 layers of blocks below the beacon. With that full-size pyramid, it will make the effect you have selected work within a range of 50 blocks from the beacon horizontally and downward, and vertically up to the height limit. For that reason, it is most useful to place your beacon pyramid as low as possible on your island. For this and for other reasons, I like to build a platform under my Skyblock island as low as I can get it, and to place the beacon pyramid there. This ensures that the effect works on the largest area of island possible in all directions. A full pyramid for a single beacon requires 164 blocks of iron, gold, diamond, and/or emerald. And notice that there is no requirement that the blocks be all the same material. This means you will need 1,476 items to make those blocks, or just over 23 stacks of ingots or gems. If you want to make a pyramid that allows 6 beacons to provide all possible buffs, it will require a 10 by 11 base, 244 blocks altogether, and over 34 stacks of ingots or gems. What I will typically do as I start to prepare for the beacon pyramid is to decide where I want it, and to make sure it has a clear shot to the sky. That means the place on your upper island where the beams will shine through has to have glass blocks to pass the light. If access to the sky is blocked, the beacons will not work. To activate the beacon, you will need an ingot or gem, and you have to right-click on the beacon. The effect that can be selected will depend on how complex your pyramid is. To activate a beacon on a simple 3x3 pyramid, right-click on the beacon to open up the interface. Select one of the 2 available effects, put an ingot or gem in the slot, and click the check mark. To see the effect you've selected, open your inventory screen. Notice that you will have to hide the new 1.12 recipe feature to see the various effects. To activate the beacons on the full pyramid with 6 beacons is the same process, but will provide stronger effects. I usually just go from left to right on one side and then the same on the other side, activating each effect in turn, leaving the regeneration effect for last. You can make the beams of light from the beacons to be different colors by using stained glass.